In the next 30 minutes, NDC chairperson Asiedu Nketia finally breaks his silence on the controversial nationwide Thanksgiving tour, sparking controversy amongst members of the governing party, with some civil groups now describing the move as a needless ploy by Asiedu Nketia to nurse presidential ambitions.
We hatched a plan in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. The National announced 3 campaign teams.
There's more unfolding tonight, but we ask that big question: is General Mosquito really nursing a presidential ambition? We'll get answers to that for you shortly. Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and qual. Enjoy a holy sleep. And at long last, the NDC chairperson Asiedu Nketia has finally broken his silence on reasons for which he is embarking on a nationwide Thanksgiving tour, which is now being labelled by his critics as a ploy, actually, to nurse his presidential ambitions. Just weeks after President Mahama concluded a similar nationwide exercise on holding derbers across the country to thank Ghanaians for supporting the NDC's sweeping victory in the 2024 general elections, some key voices in the NDC now, and even some civil society groups, are now saying they are baffled as to why Asiedu Nketia would choose to embark on yet another thank you exercise. After a heated exchange in the NDC now over the real motives of Asiedu Nketia, the party stalwart has now decided to deal with the growing speculation with matters relating to why he is now embarking on a new nationwide campaign thank you tour, with some party supporters now in the Eastern region having to hear for the very first time the justification on the part of the NDC's national chair on why he is embarking on that exercise. We now have at Joy News the reasons for which Asiedu Nketia says he is embarking on this thank you tour. Let's take you to the Eastern region now. Maxwell Kudeko is our Eastern regional correspondent, joining us now via telephone lines. And Maxwell, many have been asking the question with Asiedu Nketia just saying a few words as to why initially he was embarking on the tour. But now he's giving us a sense as to why his critics should not be taken seriously on these claims that he is nursing presidential ambitions. So let's start off from the Eastern region where he is. At which part of this region did Asiedu Nketia make the explicit claim and explanation as to why the thank you tour is not a presidential ambition tour? Explain that to us, really.
Well, he made this statement at the Zero Kobo constituency. Prior to that, he has repeated same at Asiedu, but he mentioned same in Lower Menya, Asasoa, and even today, almost all the constituencies that he visited, he made it very clear that during the 2024 elections, the president and the vice president were tasked to deliver the presidential vote, whilst he took over the parliamentary election, especially in areas where they believe that the NDC were likely to lose. So he indicated that he visited most rural constituencies where he worked closely with the branch executives and the constituency executives to ensure that there is victory in the parliamentary election. He, as it were, attributed the high numbers of NDC MPs in parliament to the collective efforts he had with the branch executives in the last election, giving his very fit to return to them and then appreciate their work and also encourage them that they should stay focused and loyal to the party. So in all the constituencies that he has visited, he echoed this purpose for his visit. And then also he's been talking about some other developmental projects and the agenda of President John Dramani Mahama.
Let's get into this. There's been a heated argument, as we know it, online amongst rank and file of the National Democratic Congress. Did you see any signs of discomfort, maybe, on the part of the party executives who were participating in this thank you meeting by Johnson Asiedu Nketia today?
Not exactly. The Eastern Regional Minister, Madam Rita, is on his tour. I've seen a couple of regional executives also join his campaign team in almost all the constituencies. That's appear that Mr. Asiedu Nketia speak the language that the party people want to hear. He's been talking about the fact that the party needs to stay focused and then also ensure that the campaign promise that they made about ensuring that the MPP people who have allegedly stolen money brought to book, that those campaign promises would be adhered to. He talked about the fact that the NDC made several promises to clean the judiciary and then the electoral commission, and that those promises are on course, and several other promises, including job creation and all that the thing that the president is doing in furtherance of the cause of the NDC. It does not appear that there are pockets of misagreement and misunderstanding among most of the people who participated in the engagement so far. There has not been any fierce resistance or any backlash throughout the key constituencies that we have visited so far.
And we know that he's scheduled to visit some other parts of the eastern region, meeting some more executives of the National Democratic Congress. But just before we listen to Johnson Asiedu Nketia, give us a context as to what the premise of his explanation is. He's been speaking obviously, to the base of the party, explaining why he is doing what he's doing now. Give us context before we listen to Johnson Asiedu Nketia.
Well, so just a few minutes ago in the Nsawam Adwejiri constituency, in buttressing his involvement in the parliamentary victory of the NDC in the last election, he referenced the Nsawam Adwejiri seat, making the claim that the NDC won the Nsawam Adwejiri seat, but the Electoral Commission in cahoots with the MPP declared the election for Mr. Sankano Dompre. He mentioned that the Nsawam Adwejiri and several other constituencies are part of the constituencies that he worked in trying to secure those seats. And he made reference to other seats where his influence collectively with the other party executive culminated into the victory or the rescuing of those particular seats, especially in Nsawam Adwejiri. He mentioned that even though the EC declared the election for the MPP candidate, Mr. Anodom, optimistic that in 2028 he will ensure that the NDC wrestled that seat. He made reference to Akotia, mentioning that they won the election. That is why they were in court. They only contested the by-election just to affirm the point that indeed they won the Akotia election in order in the 2024 election in order to make a claim against the EC and the MPP. So it is based on this context and the kind of influence that he had in the victory of the NDC parliamentary election. That is the reason why he was moving around thanking them and also assuring them that the kind of congratulatory message that the party runs on has no the Yasi people.
The campaign 2024. Let's for in our first year. The campaign team being signed. Baako President Mahama Ebelidi. The person Professor Nandadi Bukwa Imai also Ebelidi Baako.
We hatched a plan in the lead up to the 2024 general elections. The National announced 3 campaign teams. President John Mahama and his running mate focused on the presidential race, while I deal with the NPP strategy to undermine our electoral victory by sweeping parliamentary seats.
President Mahama and Professor focus on presidential election. Na party campaign team wa yebetia memedano.
And apologies if you're not able to audibly hear Johnson Asiedu Nketia give context as to why he's embarking on this thank you tour, which has sparked outrage in some within some quarters of the NDC. But let's get a bit of a breakdown as to what he's doing and why Johnson Asiedu Nketia is embarking on this tour, which is now raising eyebrows as to whether or not he's lacing his boots for the ultimate to be the next flag bearer of the NDC. Wanda Victor Kuto is a National Executive Committee member of the NDC. He's also board chair of the VRA, joining us now. Thank you so much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. I want us to be clear on this. Is this a party-sanctioned activity? The thank you tour, yet again, by your party chair, just weeks after President Mahama did say.
Yeah, let me make a quick correction. I'm not a board chair for VRA. I'm a board member for VRA.
That's right. Apologies there. Yeah, well noted.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, and good evening to our listeners. I mean, this is a very simple matter. We went for an election, the party has won, and the national chairman has had to embark on a thank you tour. And I'm surprised people are complaining. Some people are complaining. What is the problem? What is the problem? Look, if you look at the campaign that we ran, for the first time, we had a different style of campaigning. You have a campaign where the national chairman had to lead a particular team. The fact that also led a team. Running mate led a team. The general secretary was coordinating the various campaigns. There were other subgroups. And I remember, because I had followed the national chairman in one of the campaigns in the Asante region, he told them that, look, if they agree and vote for President Mahama, he himself will come back to thank them. I remember I was with him. So what is wrong with the national chairman decides to go and thank our people?
Victor, that's not the import of my question. I'm asking if this is a party-sanctioned activity. It is the NDC and by its extension the full party machinery behind this decision by Johnson Asiedu Nketia to embark on a tour.
That's why I'm giving the basis, so you know by the time I finish, you know that it is sanctioned, because the party sanctioned that campaign strategy of allowing different sub-campaign teams. So if the party agreed that the national chairman can lead a campaign, and the chairman, as part of that campaign that brought us to power, promised the people that he will come back to thank them, can we say that the process of going to thank the people is not approved? No, we can't say that. We can't say that, because we agreed on the calendar, on the political strategy to use to claim power. And if today, that strategy that we use to claim power, the chairman is riding on that same distance to go back to the people, and we are complaining. So are we saying that some Ghanaians, you only have to go to them during election time? What kind of country are we becoming? You can't go back to show gratitude? What?
Okay. What do we make of John Mahama, the president's tour, when he went around all 16 regions thanking the people of Ghana? Exactly what was that for?
if you look at the president tour, and because the president has a mandate to govern this country, the president tour was centered on virtually regional capitals. And the campaign that we did, we had to go to some communities. The National Chairman campaign did not go to any capital, any regional capital or constituency capital. He went to some communities and made certain pledges. But you understand that the president has a lot on the table. He's resetting Ghana. He cannot be going to the various communities to thank everybody. So the president tour was quick. So every region, for example, he comes to one point and then moves. But the National Chairman is going back to those communities that he went to make those promises. So these are two different things. The president is focused. The president is resetting this country. There's no doubt about that. We should not miss the issues. The National Chairman has not gotten any major appointment that we say he's doing governance. He has the right as a National Chairman to go to the people to thank them. It's good for the party. People are disgruntled. People are not happy. The base. So you have to go there, listen. So in thanking, listen, give feedback. It's also very important.
Okay, your base is not happy. Your base is not happy that you haven't performed, or what exactly?
I'm saying that some quarters of the party are not happy because of appointment issues. You know this. I mean, these are things that are obvious. I will not pretend about it. Some persons are not happy with how appointment has gone so far. You understand? So the National Chairman going out, you could hear some of the comments reassuring them that their time will come and all of that.
They should have told the president. They should have told the president when he came to their regions.
It is not everything that is being told to the president that will come out publicly. There's a reason why the National Chairman assured persons that their time will come.
Okay.
And yet, and let me finish. If you look at the big push agenda, by the time all these policies are fulfilled, everybody will be happy. Everybody will be happy because
the reason for which I was making that intervention was because I mean, let's face it, you want us to be frank and to have a frank discussion. So here's the thing: some persons within your party believe that he's taking undue advantage of the chairmanship position. He's nursing his presidential ambitions. I'll give you an example. Ras Mubarak is online. Then had gone to say what the rationale of this tour is if it's not aimed at nursing presidential ambitions.
Like I said, the National Chairman is performing his duty as National Chairman. He campaigned as National Chairman. He's going back to the people to thank the people. So if, for example, a Minister of State goes to a region to perform a particular official duty, will it be fair to say that the minister is campaigning to be president? If the Chief of Staff, for example, has been sent by the president to perform a particular task, will it be proper to say that, because the Chief of Staff are going to meet a certain group of people, he's campaigning to be president? Let us not do this to ourselves. Respectfully, let's just take things as they come and try to be candid. The National Chairman has stated clearly that he's going to thank the people he promised during the campaign, of which some of us witness. He told them that when he votes for President Mahama to win the election, he will be back to thank them. So if today the National Chairman has gone back to the base to thank them, I don't think there should be an issue. Why are we in a rush? Why are people saying he's going to contest for president? Has any nomination been open?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of that.
Interesting question you're asking there. Wanda Victor Kuto is a member of the National Executive Committee of the NDC. Just stay on for us. There are more persons joining us, but tonight we cannot entirely, based on what Wanda is telling us, rule out the possibility of Johnson Asiedu Nketia's desire to lead the NDC as its next presidential candidate. We're making that projection based on General Mosquito's own comments when he appeared on Joining late news night program, PM Express, when the question was posed to him as to whether or not Johnson Asiedu Nketia plans to be the next flag bearer of the NDC. Here's what he said earlier this year. Listen.
You say they must know who wants to contest first. Does Asiedu Nketia want to contest?
We are not there yet. Immediately after you win elections, if you begin talking about who will be or how you are going to win the next elections, it could mean an insult to the population, because they will take you to mean that, after all, you are not interested in delivering on your promises at all. I never planned to go to Parliament at all. I chose a different career path. But circumstances drew me to become a member of Parliament. And even as a member of Parliament, I never thought of becoming a General Secretary. So as a member of Parliament, if I had done a press conference to say that, look, I would never be a general secretary in my life. It could have been a hindrance at the point where there was pressure for me to be general secretary. And even as general secretary, it was not in my plan to become national chairman, but circumstances again pushed me to become national chairman. So you don't rule out any other position. Today, if you ask me whether I want to be the General Secretary of United Nations, I will say, well, why not? It's a possibility. So that said, you have another problem of cohesion in the government. If you begin dividing yourselves into campaign groups, how are you going to stick together to govern the country? The names that have been mentioned, somebody is a chief of staff, somebody is a minister operating under a chief of staff, somebody is a vice president, somebody is national chairman, somebody is this. If you present them as competitors, how do you run the cabinet? And anything any of them does could easily be construed to mean campaigning for himself or herself.
So many would say Johnson Asiedu Nketia projected this. He warned the party about it. Dr. Asasante is a political scientist, University of Ghana. And then we have Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics joining us, a polling agent. They do polls actually on what the popularity of all these individuals we're hearing of are. We'll be getting into all of that shortly, Musa. But let me come to you, Dr. Asasante. You're still with us. You've heard the justification from Wanda Victor Kuto explaining why the chairperson is on the stall. But we've just heard him say this could breed animosity within the NDC. And it's all because some say we're not stopping this little tendencies. We've seen Julius Deborah Camp also doing some walks. Johnson Asiedu Nketia has decided to join the thank you tour. How do we stop this? And if not, as he's warning, the NDC will of course face some challenges.
I believe that there's nothing wrong going to say thank you for people who have voted for you and who supported you through thick and thin. But always there's a caution. The caution is that if there are differences relative to that, then the party must sit down and address it. Otherwise, you saw what happened in MPP. It becomes something that the party is not interested in. So if you want to maintain cohesion and all that, and there is this move, backing on thank you talk, and that there are, a lot of talk about it, then there is a need to come to the base, sit down with party people, you agree on what to do or the mode of it, and then that's it. It shouldn't be something that should tear the party apart, because I am fortified by the statement of Asiedu Nketia with his interview with Evans Mensah, where he did say that people must get busy on work and forget about positions and all that, just to paraphrase him, and so that the party can, do its research and the party can meet the aspirations of the people. And above all, the party would not be misconstrued to be doing something that will be insulting to those who give them money.
Yeah, and it appears on that note that his advice was not heeded, not by any mere person, but the chief of staff of this republic. We've seen him embark on a walk, a health walk, he calls it, walk with Julius. Some say that was the starting point of all of this. You agree?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that if the health walk is also problematic, I am saying that the party must come together and decide which one they will sanction, which one they will not. Because it's early days yet for them to be fighting over position and all that. They need to work and still win the confidence of people who give them that power. So I believe that now that these things are rearing their ugly heads in their system, it tells me that there is a problem. So they need to find solutions so that they don't divide their ranks in these early days that they are running the affairs of the state. It will not help them.
Yeah, it will certainly not help, as you're saying. You know that better. But let's hear from Musa Dankwa. You've been carrying out some polls on likely individuals who may be in the lead-up or the front runners for the NDC's next presidential primaries. Obviously, that will happen in a year or two from now. But what was your last check, and where did Asiedu Nketia feature in all of this?
Right, Blessed, thank you very much for having me. We've done 2 polls, April and July, which focus on the NDC primaries. In the April poll, it was quite clear that Mosquito wasn't in the race at the time. He was on 13%, and you had Haruna Idrisu and the other 24 for Haruna Idrisu, 16% for Atufosin, and 13% for Ablakwa, and also 13% for Mosquito. But subsequent to that, in the July poll, we saw Asiedu making a very huge improvement in his polling numbers, moving from 13% to 26%. But Haruna remained on top at 27%.
And this is new because we never hear you talk about this.
No, it's not new. It's always been there.
Oh, and Asiedu Nketia is now coming close to Haruna Idrisu, you say?
Yes, in that July poll.
But who's on top of that list?
Haruna Idrisu on 27%, Asiedu Nketia on 26%, Atufosin on 22%, Zebra on 11%. The top 4 of the NDC candidate.
Interesting figures there. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Wonder Victor Kuto, just before we go, who's paying for this tour by Asiedu Nketia, by the way?
What did he say?
Who's paying for the tour?
Oh, honestly, I do not know. I have not spoken with him. I have not spoken with his team. But like I said, he's the national chairman of the party.
I thought you said this was a party-sanctioned activity.
The party structures must still work. The party structures must still work. I'm not going to be on radio to tell you how we fund our party activities. I won't do that. You understand? We run a campaign in this country, and I'm not going to tell you how we funded the campaign, how the national chairman went around the country, how other national executives went around the country, and how the flag bearer, now president, went around the country. I'm not going to say that on air. But I'm saying that the party must not collapse because we're in government. It is the party that gives birth to government. Party that gives birth to government.
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
We can hear you, Victor. Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, I'm saying that it is the party that gave birth to government. So the fact that we have a government, it doesn't mean that the umbilical cord has to be cut, fact that the party will collapse. No. There's still some linkage. And if the national chairman decides to continue his party work, that should not be seen as undermining the party cohesion and party unity. In the same manner, ministers of state, chief of staff, everybody can do their official duties. The problem is doing calculations prematurely, that because the general secretary is doing this, because the chief of staff is doing this, because the national chairman is doing this, because AMA is doing this, it means this will happen. No, let's allow everybody to do their work. Ministers are doing their work, the chief of staff is doing his work, the national chairman is doing his work, general secretary is doing his work. Let everybody do their work.
Okay, grateful.
When we get to that bridge, everybody will cross.
Okay, Victor Wonder Kuto, member of the NDC's National Executive Committee, joining us here on Top Story. Also grateful to you, Dr. Asa Asante and Musa Dankwa of Global Info Analytics. I am Blessed Sogam. Top Story brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, holy insecticide, spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep.
Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to News Night. We're live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra. The bulletin is also live on Joy Night on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and over 30 affiliates across the country. Well, tonight, education sector crisis looms as teachers and educational workers union declares nationwide strike effective tomorrow over their conditions of service. Details as the Labour and Employment Minister says efforts are underway to engage leadership of TEU to resolve the matter.
And that's what I just want to assure them, and we will talk to them later about it. I have instructed one of my officers to get hold of them, let me talk to them, and then we see how it goes.
Okay. Also tonight, thousands of BEC candidates in limbo as over 100,000 qualified students struggle to secure spots on GES computerized school selection and placement system portal.
483,800 candidates, representing 82%, have been successfully placed. However, 107,509 candidates could not be matched with their initial choices.
We will speak to the Ghana Education Service as frustrated parents and students voice their frustrations in assessing the portal more than a day after it was opened. Also ahead tonight, Ghana's deportee deal with the U.S. faces fresh legal threats as the national organizer for the opposition MPP vows a return to the Supreme Court, describing government's action as a reckless disregard for both Parliament and the Supreme Court.
The first batch of 14 nationals came. Several of them were Nigerian brothers. They opted to go back home. And so we facilitated, we put them on buses, to be able to go back home.
Coming up in business.
Oil marketing companies yet to review prices at pumps as competition forces most of them to hold on to old prices.
Also tonight, the Ghana Medical Association warns it won't shield bad nuts, admitting some doctors are battling drug abuse. We'll hear from the GMA leadership, which is urging the Medical and Dental Council to get its facts right, insisting no member was suspended last year or this one.
The Medical and Dental Council will do us a lot of good if they are telling us over the period that they have had 51 doctors suspended for substance abuse, because we don't have 51 doctors suspended this year or last year.
More as the Medical and Dental Council suspends 51 doctors over drug addiction and mental health issues and sets up a committee to assess if they are fit to continue practicing.
As we speak now, we have about 51 cases. Majority of the cases are around schizophrenia. People have depression. Some of the practitioners also have personality disorders. And of course, we have those who are addicted to substances.
You got the latest of these and many other stories coming up tonight. You can also be a part of this conversation by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth Jesse. See you in a moment.
Small money day, big money day, where too much money day. Telecel Too Much Money promo drop. If you dial *500#, then join them. For the Telecel Too Much Money promo inside, you will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points with it make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play up top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel, connecting energies.
This promo will be NLA where they regulate them for the Caritas Lottery platform top.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. Me I go spray them away with holy insecticide spray. When I sleep, me die, my God, with holy insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Ghana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
No. You look so relaxed and cheerful these days. What's your secret?
No secret, Kofi. I just sorted out my retirement with Shield Pension Trust. You should talk to them.
Retirement? The small time before pension.
Share. The earlier you start, the better. And Shield Pension Trust makes it so easy for you. They've got amazing plans to choose from. I even signed up for the Shield Cedi Crow a day personal pension scheme, which lets you save as little as 1 Ghana cedi a day towards your retirement. Isn't that great?
1 cedi a day.
Exactly. And the best part is, I sign up automatically on the Dachia Promoting Plan, which guarantees me medical insurance when I go on retirement.
Hey, you've convinced me. I need to sign up now.
Kofi is making a move to secure his future and health insurance when he goes on retirement. What about you? Go to Shield Pension Trust or call us now on 050-915-0253 and we'll guide you through securing your pension tomorrow. Shield Pension Trust. Into the future with you.
Announcing Ghana's first unlimited photocopier leasing. Yes, from just 983 Ghana cedis, you can lease a multifunctional photocopier and print unlimited. Yes, unlimited and free paper every month. Guess what? That's not all. Toners, repairs, and maintenance all are free. And oh, I'm not kidding at all. And we cover the whole country. Yes, the whole country. What are you waiting for? Just visit us at www.valexlease.com or call 0244 644048. I repeat, or call 0244 644048. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's begin on the education front because Ghana's education sector is on the brink of a major crisis as the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEU, has declared an indefinite strike effective tomorrow, the 19th of September. The industrial action will ground non-teaching services across public and technical universities, the Ghana Education Service, the Ghana Library Authority, and the Museums and Monuments Board, threatening to disrupt daily operations in classrooms, libraries, laboratories, and administrative offices nationwide. In a blistering statement, TEU accused government and its agencies of showing persistent failure and reckless disregard for the welfare of non-teaching staff. My colleague James Aveji is in the studio with a copy of that statement and giving us more. James, what more can you tell us from the statement?
Well, Kenneth, their demand include immediate signing of conditions of service for a number of groups. One, TEU of TUC Ghana and all junior staff of public and technical universities, non-teaching staff of the Ghana Education Service, staff of Ghana Library Authority, staff of Museums and Monuments Board, inclusion in payment of GS non-teaching staff for continuous professional development allowance in September 2025, resolution of promotion grievances in GS, including staff who passed interviews but remained unpaid on new skills, and staff placed on skills but denied official promotion letters. It also includes staff who have received no communication after interviews. It goes on to include that the government, particularly the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, accountability, that the government must show some accountability in that regard, and that the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission must conclude and sign all conditions of service without further delays or excuses. TEU warns that any attempt to intimidate its members will amount to unfair labor practice, and that the union says responsibility for the disruption of industrial peace lies squarely with government, which means that if government want to prevent what they are about to start tomorrow, then they need to append their signature to this MOU as soon as possible.
Thank you very much, James. We've also been hearing from the Minister of Jobs, Labour and Employment, Rashid Pelpo, who says government has already held discussions with the Finance Ministry to find a broader solution that addresses not only TEU's grievances, but also similar demands from other unions threatening industrial action. Dr. Pelpo added that efforts are underway to reach TEU leadership for further engagement.
We have taken notice of their demands. They had come over to my office. They had discussed their challenges. I made arrangements and had a meeting with the finance minister. We discussed it extensively, and he proposed ways by which he will tackle it. after comprehensively looking at not just their own, but the other proposals sent to us by various organizations who are also threatening strike actions. We think that as a government, to tackle them individually will create much more problems for the labor force in Ghana. Rather than doing so, we thought that we have a comprehensive approach by the Ministry of Finance to their demands. So in the end, it will be seen as solving the problems. I am looking out to have a chat with them to give them assurance that what they are asking for temporarily. We are not responding temporarily because we have a better opportunity to respond, and they will lose nothing. And that's what I just want to assure them, and we will talk to them later about it. I have instructed one of my officers to get hold of them. Let me talk to them, and then we see how it goes.
Okay.
Well, you heard that the Minister for Jobs, Labour and Employment, Rashid Pelpo. Let's go into the telephone lines right now, and we're being joined by Labour expert Austin Game. Thank you very much for your time this evening, Mr. Game. So you heard the minister, and then he says a government wants a comprehensive approach to union demands. Would you say this is a smart strategy or simply an excuse to delay addressing TEWU's concerns?
Thank you for the invitation. Honestly, having passed through that ministry before, it's one ministry that don't just speak just for the sake of it. They have to be stepping on something before they can communicate. They are supposed to be working virtually 24 hours. So I'm pretty sure the minister meant well. It's not just a question of strategy. Strategy is a different ballgame altogether. So I think that it's for the parties to learn to have a certain belief in one another and the laws that we have and the structures that we have in place. You may have a genuine concern. It may not be addressed overnight, but it can be addressed. So why cause disruptions before you have your matter addressed? I appreciate the difficulties they might have. And of course, the industry will have to, in the future, take steps to be. I don't see the reason why matters of allowances should become a burdensome stone on a government ministry when the employer, which is the employer of the industries, are there. It's not, I don't believe it's government that interviews people to employ them at the university.
So, Mr. Game, what you're saying is that this should have been addressed at the university level, and it shouldn't even have gotten to government at this point. You say?
Means of dealing with matters. So I don't know the reason why the ministries many years ago we are still repetitive of the same thing, burdening ourselves of little things like this one, and not big pictures.
Is that to say that these demands that TEWU is calling for really shouldn't get to the government level? It should be settled at the university level. That's what you say?
Precisely so. They have employers they relate to minute by minute, second by second. The minister stays somewhere very far away. If the employer do know, those who meet them on daily basis do know that there is a concern that must be addressed, and they will need the support of the Ministry of Labour and Jobs and Employment. They should have been proactive by going ahead and having this conversation and not wait till it has now become confrontational before the minister is running, in circles. It's not fair.
But as you say, this is where it has got into. What strategies do you think government should deploy to avert any crisis that this could bring about in the education sector?
Well, I believe in the minister and his colleagues in the education. They should, maybe for the sake of purpose of not just me being so-called these things into the bag, but ensuring that the matter is resolved as early as possible. Invite the leadership of TEU at the national level and those from the down level to come to the ministry so that together with the Ministry of Education and also Ministry of Finance, they would engage. But they should ensure that the leadership of the university that are primarily the employers of these people are present. So they transfer the burden on them to go and manage. And it does not mean if they owe each other or they owe the workers some allowance, it does not mean they should go on strike. There are ways and means detailed in our laws and practices that they can step in and have these matters addressed, including going to the National Labour Commission for possible directives to be given as to how the matter should be addressed. And not always. It appears we are going backwards about how to resolve our labor-related matters.
If they do end up going on the strike, would you say that it is illegal under Ghana's labor laws, as you are seeming to suggest?
Well, I am a mediator. I don't normally like to take a step forward by saying that somebody is illegal. It may be that they are illegal, but it's not for me to say. There is a body, and that one they cannot even say it. The minister cannot say it. I cannot say it. Nobody can say it. When you get to the National Labour Commission, they will engage them, or if they have a facilitator who will engage them, they should do so to enable them to resolve their differences. Look, we must grow as a nation and get out from this mess of every day soiling ourselves. This is a soil. We are soiling ourselves.
Okay, thank you very much. Austin Game is a labor expert there, telling us what his view is about the TEU strike, which is to start tomorrow. And of course, let's still stay on the telephone lines and speak to TEU General Secretary King James. James, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Well, I spoke to the Labour, Jobs and Employment Minister a while ago, and he did indicate that he is going to engage leadership of TEU to address your concerns. Has that meeting materialized yet?
Yeah. Good evening to you and your listeners. I'm here to hear the message consultation with the employment.
Right. I spoke to Labour expert Austin Game a while ago, who sought to suggest that these issues, you should have tabled it before the authorities at the university. It shouldn't have got into the government level as we speak right now. Is that something that you might reconsider so that you go back to the universities to ensure that at least they're able to address them for you?
Please come again. I didn't get that one.
Right. Labour expert Austin Game is suggesting that this should not have got into government level, at least by this time. It should have been addressed at the university level. Is this something that now you've heard of this, you might reconsider and perhaps try to engage at the university level before you escalate it to government level?
Oh, okay. That is always the expectation of every labor union, that when you have any grievance, your matter is being held at your institutional level. It will interest Honorable Austin Game, my senior, to know that hitherto that we used to negotiate with the vice chancellors of the public universities, now all the universities are under the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. And so the Director General of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission now represents all vice chancellors, and they sit with him on the negotiating table with the Chief Executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission leading the negotiation on behalf of government. And so we wish it was that simple, like he's suggesting. We don't take delight in go on strike. No, we don't. In the case of the public universities, their condition of service expired since 2018.
James,
and we have been going back and forth. Last year, November, we went on strike and we were asked to go back and work, and whilst negotiation continues.
James, that
we
means that,
January.
That means that your strike will continue unabated tomorrow if nothing changes.
Yeah, surely. Tomorrow, my members have been summoned to come to offices, both in the regional secretariats. We will have Zoom meetings with all the declaration that I'll be doing at the national office at the TUC Hall conference room by 10 o'clock, and after that, everybody goes home.
Okay, King James Azotiba, thank you very much. He's the General Secretary of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union of TUC. Well, let's stay a while on education because BEC candidates are facing a bittersweet reality. While over 500,000 students qualified for senior high school placement, a staggering 107,000, nearly 1 in 5, are left navigating the uncertain waters of self-placement on the Ghana Education System's computerized school selection and placement system portal. About 483,000 candidates secured spots automatically, leaving others to compete for remaining vacancies. Well, here's Deputy Education Minister Dr. Clement Park addressing the press today about the situation.
A total of 603,328 students sat for the examination, surpassing last year's numbers. A clear indication of the growing commitment of our young people to pursue education as a pathway to success. This remarkable milestone reflects our collective progress in expanding access to secondary education. I am pleased to announce that 483,800 candidates, representing 82%, have been successfully placed. Of this figure, 248,038 students are female, constituting 51.4%, and 234,783 are males, constituting 48.6%. However, 107,509 candidates, making up 18.2%, could not be matched with their initial choices due to the high demand for Category A schools.
That's the Deputy Education Minister Clement Park. He also revealed that 70 private schools are part of a pilot program with 21 schools included in automatic placement and others available for self-placement through the computerized school selection and placement system.
The 70 private schools we currently have on a pilot basis could not be added for the automatic selection. But we have added them onto the system and they are available through the self-placement process.
Right, and many parents and students are frustrated, struggling to access the portal over 24 hours after it opened. Well, the portal experienced heavy traffic and high demand, causing temporary inaccessibility. Well, the Ghana Education Service has resolved some technical issues, they say, and the portal is now live and active. My colleague Collins from Point joins me in studio with some of the messages we have received since morning till now from parents and students. What have they been saying, Collins?
Right. So far, we've received numerous messages since morning, and some of them, they didn't add their names because of privacy. Says that just tried a minute ago, and the portal is not working. and he was referring to the school placement. Another one also sent a screenshot of the portal where it has been written that no automatic placement has been made for you at this time, and the message that the person asked to it is that, please, this is what I'm seeing when I try to check my child's placement. What is the issue? What should I do? And another one says that it is about my WAR's SHS placement. The link is not working. And we also have another message here where it shows a screenshot from another parent who was trying to log in into the system, but it was showing an error there, and as that my daughter is in high school in the Volta region, and so the person sent a message and also asked that the daughter is in a school in the Volta region, that they have tried to access the portal, but it is not working. Another one also sends a screenshot from the portal on the and it is showing error there, and it says that this is the CSSP's computerized placement selection system. It is not working at my end. I've been trying from yesterday night till now. All you get is this, referring to the screenshot that she added.
Well, thank you very much, Collins Frimpong, for those messages parents and students alike have been sharing. Well, let's go into the telephone lines once again, and I've been joined by Daniel Fenyi, who is the Public Relations Officer at the Ghana Education Service. Daniel, grateful for your time this evening. Well, you assured us, the Ghana Education Service and the Ministry of Education assured us that the app is up and running. But as we speak, we've tried a few minutes ago, and it's still not working. What really is the challenge?
Yes, thank you very much for the opportunity. In fact, we have also received similar concerns from some parents and some students as well. So I should put the situation into three categories. So number one is that, usually when school placements are released, and especially for this year, where we have recorded the highest number of students who start for the DET, and that implies they would be interested in accessing their schools. We are looking at over 600,000 learners, all of them trying to access the portal, access the online space. You would agree with me that when such huge numbers are trying to access the portal, you may encounter some traffic situation, and so the rippling effect is that parents get feedback or students get the feedback that the portal is not working. Sometimes it is because of the traffic situation due to the large number of interest persons who want to log in all at the same time. So that is one category of the situation. For such people, the assurance is that they will eventually get in, because as people access the portal, print out their placement slip and all that, the numbers gradually reduce, and so others would also be able to access the portal. That is number one category. Number two category, we have the group who actually get feedback that you have not been automatically placed yet. That is not an internet problem or an access problem. That is actually a feedback we have given you. And the feedback is that your placement has not been, the automatic placement has not been done yet, which means there's a possibility you could get your placement in the coming days. So that is actually a genuine message we are sending to you, that be expecting your placement in the coming days. And we configured this feedback to ease the anxieties and the tension that normally come with checking people's placements and all that. So that one, it is not an internet problem. It is a feedback we have actually given to parents and then students. And then there's a third category. The third category are location-specific issues. So, for example, if you find yourself where internet is a challenge, you may experience some slow access to the portal. That is a location-specific challenge. So that is not generic, or that is not caused from our end. It is rather caused by probably your location, sometimes the network that you use, sometimes the device that you use, and I mean all these locally specific context situations could also contribute to having a slow feedback when you attempt to access the portal. So these are the three categories of challenges we have observed in the system. But I can confirm to you that the portal went live yesterday at 8 p.m. and now it's around 6 p.m., so less than 24 hours. From our end, about 200,000 learners have entered, assessed their placement, and printed their placement out. So in less than 24 hours, we have these numbers who have already accessed the portal and then seen their placement and even printed out their placement. So we believe that the traffic for the first category, which is caused by the traffic, we believe since about 200,000 people are already out of the space, and the traffic situation will ease down, and then some more people could also access the portal.
Why is the GES banging their hopes on less traffic on the website rather than solving the issue once and for all? Because you've mentioned that, yes, indeed, per your figures, 200,000 people have been able to have their placements done. But there are thousands also who are struggling because of the difficulties in assessing that. When are you going to solve this problem once and for all so that the process becomes smooth for all students?
Okay, so as I emphasize, the remaining thousands that you refer to, number one, some of them have actually gotten feedback, just that it wasn't a school that they were expecting, and so they form part of this thousands category. So, for example, as I said, some have gotten the feedback that their automatic placement has not been done yet. That's not a network challenge. That's not a network problem. That's not a technical problem. That's actually a feedback we have given you that you have not been placed yet. And those are part of the thousands of the people who might complain or might have challenge appreciating the portal or accessing the portal. The other category in that thousands that we are referring to could also be caused by local or context-specific challenges. And so I can assure you that at the moment, of course, we are not also taking it for granted that just because some people have been given feedback that automatically they have not been placed yet, or some people because of their locally context challenges, they are not able to access. No, we are not resting at all. We are still behind the machines, tweaking here and there, changing here and there, reconfiguring some of the settings to ensure that by tomorrow, let's give ourselves even into Saturday. So in the next 2 to 3 days, we expect that every single parent or student would have been able to access the portal successfully and been able to identify the schools they have in place.
And how long is the portal going to be active for?
To be active as long, so the final enrollment. When I say final enrollment, I mean from 18th of October when the students would be going to school. Because actually, we are activating the self-placement portal as well. You know, for now, we have dealt with the automatic placement.
Right.
We are receiving challenges, addressing challenges. But some students would not also be automatically placed. For those students, they may have to self-place themselves. That means that they will get a list of schools and then they will select the schools that they wish to attend. That self-placement portal is also going to be active, and it will remain till the students finally enroll in their respective schools.
Daniel Fenny, thank you very much. He is the PRO for the Ghana Education Service. And that brings us to business. And George is here with the latest. George, what's coming up?
So, Ken, you know, Tuesday, prices should have gone up, but it looks like the oil marketing companies are yet to do that.
Wow.
Maybe because of competition is playing a critical role. I'll be getting you more on that one. And some commercial banks increase charge on CD-denominated debit cards for international and cross-currency transactions by 7%. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office,
Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Temania Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school. A farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
Are you clapping? Are you giving God the glory? Hallelujah! Every day you wake up shouting, my business is not moving. Customers are not coming. But look, my brother, my sister, who are you deceiving? Have you smiled today? Do you have the confidence to smile? Your face alone is chasing people away. Yeah! We all know that the problem is not a spiritual problem. The problem is a dental problem. She was saying, use Pepsodent charcoal toothpaste to remove yellow. Somebody shout amen.
Craft your smile with Pepsodent charcoal. It removes stains and whitens teeth. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, do you hear him, sir? And you stay soft concentrate fabric softener. I was such it move. Just send it say, but you hear me, it's now. New York, it's now. No, be a baby, some was some demon in our say. Do you hear him say? Fekwe yesim biara so siesie wontare. Use Stay Soft ani hiane tena woche. Na ni bo so da from kra. Fabric soft na eye ne sensa. Choose Stay Soft. Ne hu so so ye no. FDID edwadin krato yatu.
Every mosquito started run away. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Sasso, mi se come tonton preko. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Sasso, come tonton preko. Nani shamne die, demo strongko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, oil marketing companies are yet to review prices at the pumps 3 clear days after the expected adjustment. There is more in this report.
Fuel prices should have gone up on Tuesday based on the current deregulation policy, which ensures prices of the various products are reviewed every 2 weeks. Data from the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies showed fuel prices should have gone up by as much as 6% per litre. However, our checks since Tuesday showed most of the firms have not changed their prices, even though it was supposed to go up. Some of the oil marketing companies have told Joy Business they were trying to exhaust the old stocks before working on the revised prices. Others have also argued they were trying to look out for other players before they carry out any adjustment. Due to the recent pressure on the Ghana cedi, the various oil marketing companies will have to use more cedis to pay for the same quantity of product. So who has been taking care of this cost over the past 3 days? Or competition is forcing most of the oil marketing companies to absorb the recent increases in prices of petroleum products.
And that is the Business Desk report. Now, government is projecting some massive turnaround of the country's oil sector in terms of commercial oil production. And managers are basing their prediction on fresh investments made by some of the players, including Tullow, as well as the $1.5 billion investment coming from ENI, Vitol, and other partners. They also cited the exploration works expected to be carried out on the Volta Basin by the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. Dr. Yusuf Suleiman is a technical advisor at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition.
The Volta Basin is our trump card, if I may put it that way. Yes, we have partnerships with ENI, we have partnerships with Tullow, a partnership that has highly reinvigorated thanks to the forthrightness in the leadership of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, where the upstream players, they have gathered momentum. And watch out, once we drill these exploration wells and they're proven to have substantial reserves, you will see that they only say that the meat will only drag the vultures to the game. You will see the players, they will want to come back. But the good thing is they want to do it on our own grounds, in terms of our own capability without anybody's support.
Dr. Yusuf Suleiman is the technical advisor at the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, says he doesn't expect the policy rate cut to impact badly on the city's fortunes going forward. The central bank has cut its key lending rate to commercial banks by some significant margin to 21.5%. However, there are fears that this could worsen the current pressure on the Ghana city. But engaging journalists at the Post-Monetary Policy Committee press conference, Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama insists that will not be the situation on the ground.
If you read the statement, we spoke about, strong sterilization efforts in spite of the reduction in the policy rate. In fact, if you look at the last decision that was made, that too will lower the rate by 300 basis points. But if you look at the sterilization effort that went in, it's been very strong. In other words, the monetary policy stance was kept appropriate. And so we did not see the negative impact you would want to see in terms of liquidity injection, etc. That same effort is going to be deployed even with this decision. And so stability of the cedi shouldn't be a problem regardless of the decision that we have made. Remember that also that the cocoa season is just kicking off. And so we envisage inflows of cocoa. We are beginning to see a pickup in gold exports. And so a combination of these will certainly come in and help to keep the CD stable.
And that is the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama. Now, some commercial banks have started increasing the charge on your debit card when you use it for international transaction and purchases. Now, some of these banks in a text message advise their clients that they have increased the charge from the current 2.5% per value for transactions to 7%. The banks argue that this is in line with the Bank of Ghana directive on cross-currency transactions with debit card. They went ahead to argue that this is not a new charge or fee, but rather part of the existing pricing structure for these card usage. And if you turn attention to the stock market, if you are a shareholder of MTN today, the value of each share that you're holding was up by 3 pesos to close at 4 Ghana cedis, 5 pesos. And on PM Express Business Edition tonight, we're still talking about the policy rate cut, the impact on the Ghana cedi and the economy. We are engaging the Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Philip Abradotu, at 9 p.m. on Joy News and all our social media platforms. Let's talk about the policy rate. What went into that? When will you start impacting, or when will this start affect you? If you have any plan of taking a loan from a commercial bank, or if you're currently servicing one, how will this cut impact that cost of credit that you plan to take?
That should make for an interesting conversation, George. But I my interest really is about the OMC's failure to increase the fuel prices.
I don't think it's failure. Data from the oil marketing companies themselves suggest that when prices go up, it actually affects consumption of consumers.
Right.
And you realize that a lot of these firms are now playing on prices. There's a firm that has been very active on pricing, and that has helped it increase its market share. So it looks like most of the oil firms are now really trying to see how do we get it right in terms of pricing it right, because you also don't want to lose customers because
looking at
your
competition.
product is too high. So it will definitely go up because, listen, somebody has to take care of that cost. But when is the right time to do that? And how do you price well so you don't lose out of the market?
Well, consumers would wish that prices of fuel never go up anyway. Thank you very much, George, for bringing us the latest in business. Well, let's do more stories tonight, because government is facing a perfect storm of controversy surrounding U.S. deportees, with tensions escalating dramatically. The national organizer of the opposition MPP, Nana Boakye, is firing on all cylinders, threatening to hold the Mahama administration back to the Supreme Court over alleged blatant disregard for Article 75 of the Constitution. Nana Boakye accuses the government of repeating the constitutional violations that led to the landmark Guantanamo Bay or Gitmo 2 case, where the Supreme Court ruled against the administration for accepting Guantanamo Bay deportees without parliamentary approval. Well, this comes barely 24 hours after the deportees themselves, still in Ghana, sued the state, alleging unlawful detention and seeking an injunction to stop their deportation, as well as a habeas corpus order. Only last week, President John Mahama revealed that government had agreed to receive the deportees.
We agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable, because all our fellow West Africans don't need a visa to come to our country. So if they decided to travel from US to Accra, they don't need a visa anyway. So if you're bringing our colleague West Africans back, that's okay. And so I think that agreement has been activated, and a first batch of 14 nationals came. Several of them were Nigerian brothers. They opted to go back home. And so we put them on buses, to be able to go back home. One of them was a Gambian who is not as easy. You have to get him an air ticket to be able to facilitate his travel. So what we've done is contacted their embassy to let them know of his presence so that they can facilitate his return to Gambia. And so that's the issue with regards to deportations and arrivals. West Africa has the protocol of free movement. And so any West African is free to come to Ghana and be able to stay for 90 days. And so if they decide to bring them, we don't have a problem accepting them.
Meanwhile, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and MP for Northton, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, during his recent accountability series, defended the comments of the president. Listen.
Under this understanding with the United States,
Ghana must first independently vet the background of those the US intends to deport to first satisfy ourselves that they do not pose any threat to the security of our country and that they cannot harm our citizens. We have put in place strict safeguards to ensure that convicts cannot be brought into our country under this understanding. The Mahama administration would never compromise the safety and well-being of Ghanaians. This understanding with the US has been thoroughly discussed by Cabinet and has also received the Attorney General's advice. By established convention, MOUs are not sent to Parliament for ratification. I have inherited hundreds of MOUs from the previous administration, which were not sent to Parliament for ratification. May I assure the nation that if this initial understanding is elevated into a full-blown agreement, we shall not hesitate to comply with Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution by proceeding to Parliament for ratification.
So that's the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, and earlier you had President John Dramani Mahama all talking about the same deportees issues. And in a strongly worded statement, Henry Nana Boakye, who is the national organizer of the opposition NPP, has accused President Mahama, the Attorney General, and the Foreign Minister Okudzeto-Ablakwa of showing, quote, reckless disregard for both Parliament and the Supreme Court. Let's get on the telephone lines right now. Thankfully, we have him on the line to speak to us. Henry, thank you very much for joining me tonight. What specific breaches of this MOU are you referring to?
Thank you very much. The tape you played, you clearly heard the president saying that we have agreed with them and we have received 14. So what Mr. Ablakwa is saying clearly is mischievous and it's just to throw dust into our eyes. You cannot say that at this stage it is just a memorandum of understanding when the very dictates of the agreement is being activated. You are saying that it's an MOU. Look, Margaret Bampo and Nana Boakye versus the Attorney General was very clear. Now let me just quote some portion for you. Say,
okay.
Consequently, we hold that upon the true and proper interpretation of Article 75 of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, the President of the Republic, in agreeing to the transfer of Mahmoud Umar Ben Atif and Khalid Mohammed Ali to the Republic of Ghana, required the ratification by an act of Parliament or a resolution of Parliament supported by the vote of more than one half of members of Parliament. And by virtue of the failure to obtain such ratification, the agreement is unconstitutional. And I am surprised because this particular issue, the Gitmo 2, happened under the first administration of His Excellency, the President. And I'm expecting that he should know better. In fact, I also heard Okudzeto saying that the Attorney General gave the advice that it is even dangerous for the Attorney General to proffer such an advice that would be a complete disregard, reckless disregard for the Constitution and even the Supreme Court. And it's not as if this particular judgment has been overturned by the Supreme Court itself. No. So I'm surprised. In fact, if you consider what happened in Gate 2, it's almost the same. Almost the same facts. And even as we speak, you have an overwhelming majority in Parliament. So what stops you from going to Parliament for ratification? Or somebody is hiding something?
Henry, so what remedies are you seeking in the court?
Oh, no. We are going to head back to court for the court to enforce the Constitution. But first of all, this agreement for me is illegal. It's unconstitutional. It needs the ratification of Parliament. Mr. Kujato cannot in any form or shape define it in any way. That is an MOU, and at this level, it does not progress or developed into a full-blown agreement, and for that matter, it shouldn't go to Parliament. What His Excellency the President himself says that we have received 17 of these deportees. And you, Foreign Affairs Minister, you have also told us that 40 are also on their way coming. And you are telling us that it is not a full-blown agreement, but rather a memorandum of understanding. What kind of reckless disregard of our Constitution and Supreme Court is this?
So when are you heading for the court?
Oh, very soon. I mean, I've directed my lawyer Nanaji Bafo and Lenin Ananyeji. They've started the processes. I'm very sure that by Monday we should be heading to the Supreme Court. This is not fair. This is not fair. I mean, you have an overwhelming majority in Parliament. What are you hiding? And whatever vote you require in Parliament, you have it in abundance. So what are you hiding? I think that we need to protect our Constitution. Right? We need to protect our Constitution. Our actions as a government and all of this, it must conform to the provisions of the 1992 Constitution.
Okay. Henry, I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. That's the national organizer of the opposition NPP. Now, let's bring you an air pollution story tonight, because air pollution is silently stealing nearly a year of life from every Ghanaian, and the new data shows it now ranks among the top 6 killers in the country. Well, the Air Quality Life Index reveals that Ghana's air is more than double the World Health Organization's safe limit, placing millions at risk of deadly diseases. It is part of a global emergency in which experts warn dirty air has become humanity's deadliest external threat, robbing more years of life than alcohol, malnutrition, unsafe water, or even road traffic crashes. The following report has more.
Air pollution is silently cutting life short in Ghana. A global report, Air Quality Life Index from the Energy Policy Institute at the University of Chicago, says the country's dirty air now ranks among the top killers, stealing nearly a year of life from every Ghanaian. The WHO guideline for safe air is just 5 micrograms per meter cube. Ghana is at 12.5, more than double the WHO safe limit. Experts warn this puts millions at risk of heart disease, strokes, and cancer. Tanushri Ganguly is the director of the Air Quality Life Index program at EPIC.
What we are seeing in terms of impacts on life expectancy are derived through satellite estimates. And these satellite estimates also rely on what data is available through ground monitoring data. So without ground monitoring data, we also are a little uncertain about how close we are to the actual kind of pollution levels that people are breathing in this part of the world. So it's highly likely that I'm saying that, people in Ghana are losing 9.6 months of their life expectancy because of air pollution, but the true burden of pollution could be much higher, and that would only become visible if more data is generated for the region. Yes, so Oti and Ashanti region are where we are seeing the most highest impact of air pollution. So people are losing about 1 year of their life expectancy in this region. And one thing that really caught my eye was that particularly in the Ashanti region, between 1998 and 2023, so in this sort of period of 26 years, pollution has increased by almost 20%. So, which is a significant sort of concern that needs to be paid attention to, because it seems to be also following an increasing trend.
Air pollution is now counted among Ghana's top 6 killers. It shortens more lives than unsafe water, alcohol, road crashes, and even tobacco. Only malnutrition, malaria, HIV/AIDS, and unsafe sex are higher. Across West Africa, Nigeria records the biggest impact, while Togo also sits above Ghana in life years lost to air pollution. Ghana has just passed its first ever national air quality standard, but experts say standards mean nothing without enforcement.
Many countries around the world focus on generating data, but then don't know what to do with it, right? So the first piece is to actively integrate data into decision making. What are you doing with that data becomes very, very important. The second is follow the science on where pollution is coming from. There are source attribution studies which are being conducted, and these studies, they generate wealth of information on which are the most polluting causes of pollution in a region. These studies need to form the foundation for any policy response to action. So the second is following the science on where pollution is coming from. And the third is, of course, it's great that the Parliament in Ghana has already introduced air quality management regulation. The focus now should be on ensuring that the provisions in that law are robustly enforced.
The message is clear. Cleaning up the air could give Ghanaians back nearly a year of life. But it will take political will and real investment to stop pollution from silently stealing Ghana's future. For Joy News, Michael Ashale. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives. Funding was provided by the Clean Air Fund, which had no say in the story's content.
And that brings us to the end of News 9 tonight. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth